seen that as a trend. Yes, wouldn't it be lucky if we had our own coffee spot? Yeah, that'll be, the cycling group banter, everyone. The problem is those things that fester in my mind. I'm like, it would be really cool. We have a boardroom there. Like, we don't have that many meetings there. Like, I'm sure the rest of the team wouldn't mind if we just dropped a coffee machine in there. Because they can also have coffee, right?
Of course,
it will be included. Do you need a 150 grand Italian coffee machine? No, you don't.
But we want one.
But somehow it is like priority number one. Like, you don't have a laptop, but we need a coffee machine.
We work in a big corporate office, and we decided in our business we don't want. So there's nice. I mean, we've got a Mug and Bean and a Kauai, Vida and a Woolies, and in our offices. But we decided we want a barista on the ground floor of our office space in particular, and people love it. In fact, we've got 8,000 people in that building, and often you get people because we have like a quota per day, and
everyone gets
a coffee, and it's like such. You think it's such a small thing, but it's such a big deal that we're under pressure we will put everybody else under pressure because they want the same elsewhere. So
what does Vida and Mug and Bean have to say about this venture of yours?
We've got multiple like providers. So there's a few others, like also small entrepreneurs in the building that have little coffee stations. So we try to use and support them.
So you have multiple coffee stations.
Yeah.
How many? Who's the main barista? Who's your favorite barista in the building?
There's a business called Fuel.
Okay.
And the guy that actually owns the business is often there himself making coffee for people. I mean, he's got like, I don't know, hundreds of these things. It's not just our offices, but he's actually there often making coffee. And I quite like the fact that he's on the front lines talking to people. He loves the coffee. He loves the chat. So I
can feel a new guest coming on. Yeah, that sounds like an untold story lying in wait there. But having said that, we had to tell your story. So there's our informal intro. Welcome. Good to have you. I'm gonna have a really good time here today. I think I was really looking forward to chatting to Mr. Belair's. We've had 5 Davids on now, so I can't say David anymore. And you definitely are of the most intriguing just because of the relationship you have with what is my favorite race in the entire world. I'm really interested to understand your journey, your background, where the cycling started, where the coffee obsession started, because that's probably linked and maybe even earlier on. So, Farhad, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind just a light introduction to anyone that doesn't know who you are, where you work, what you do, and then if you can, take us to the beginning. Where did you grow up? What did those formative years look like? And how the heck did cycling come into the picture?
Okay. So I work at Old Mutual. I run an investment business. Didn't start off in investments, but kind of gradually worked my way in. That's a whole nother story on its own.
Another podcast.
I've been living in Cape Town for 21 years.
Okay.
But I grew up in a little town called Ladysmith in Natal.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Went to school there. And then, did my studies, started off in Durban, and then I actually moved on to Cape Town when I joined Old Mutual.
Okay.
Always been playing sports. I played provincial cricket when I was in school.
Okay. Where was school?
So in a small town like Ladysmith, there's only 2 schools. Or there was the white school and there was the non-white school. So I went to a school called Ladysmith Secondary.
Okay.
Yeah. Government school. Only sport I didn't play, I think, was rugby and hockey.
Okay. Did they offer it?
No.
Okay.
Which is why. yeah, so that's kind of where I grew up and kind of bit of my backstory. So cycling, I used to ride bikes as a kid. I think everybody did, but I was very much more into like team sports. I love playing soccer. Even with cricket, like was was actually my preference, but cricket was like a whole day sports. I hear lots of parents complaining about that these days with schools and having to sit by the sidelines all Saturday. So I know what that's like.
Kids.
Yes,
Do you have siblings?
I do. Yeah, got an older sister and a younger brother.
Okay.
And even when I was playing, like more competitively, it was always like, you're either going to be really, really good and you take it a lot more seriously, or you're going to be mediocre and, this is not going to pay the bills. and so, it was never something that I pursued beyond school. And that's when I started to play, more, a lot more soccer and so on. But even with like athletics, because I used to do athletics as well, it was always like sprints, 100s, 200s, 400s, 800s.
Okay.
And I was never really into like the endurance type stuff.
Okay.
Irony. Exactly. And even when it came to like running, I would like doing like even a half marathon, which I did just for fun, but like it was never something that I would actively think about. Like I need more action, either like with a short, intense distance,
explosive
sprint,
stuff,
or like a game, or like something that's a little bit more team oriented. So I kind of grew up with this view that like Ironmans and cycling and running was not for me. And in about 2013, I started working with a colleague, who actually passed away about 4 or 5 years after that. But we shared a wall. So his office was next door to mine, and we worked very closely. And he was like completely into endurance sports, and he did Ironmans, and but he was also like this overbearing personality that getting people involved and more active, like that was his thing, so
evangelizing.
Yeah, and he was, so his name was Lee Nakin, he was a senior exec at Old Mutual, and this was like his passion. And whenever people wanted to chat to him, he's like, come, let's go for a ride and we'll talk about it on the bike, or let's do this, or let's do that. Yeah. So I was like very dismissive of all of the endurance stuff for most of those years.
Okay.
Um,
Are you in like your late 20s there? Or are you in your 30s?
I was in my 30s.
Okay.
Yeah. And like always, like I don't, we never ended up riding together ever.
Crazy.
Because eventually, when I moved into a new job in about this late 2016, he gave me a helmet as a farewell gift. And he says, now I've bought you the helmet, now you need to buy the bike.
Wouldn't give in, eh?
He wouldn't give in. And so
that's quite a trade. As a helmet, you go and buy a bicycle.
Yeah, which of course, I couldn't resist. And then like grudgingly, okay, fine, I'll go and get a bike.
Actually bulldozed you into this thing.
Yeah, and it was a really nice, it was I still have it. It's one of these, it was like a really fancy, expensive helmet. So it was like,
this is one of those notes.
Can't refuse. Yeah.
There's a picture we need.
Exactly.
Okay. What color was it?
Black.
Okay.
And he was like, at that point in time, big into mountain biking. So it was a POC.
Okay.
Mountain biking.
Very nice.
Very nice helmet. And so a few months later, I bought the mountain bike. And not long after that, in fact, while he was out riding, he didn't feel too good. Something was, his heart rate was off. Went to the hospital, got checked. heart was fine, but turns out he had leukemia.
Oh no, man, that's
And
tragic.
yeah, started treatment straight away. As was his personality, you know, he was very intense, very action oriented, very positive and optimistic. So he actually, you know, he wanted the most aggressive treatment. He had his bicycle with the trainer brought into his hospital room, and he was like,
Oh wow.
you know, like, and he was, you know, he was like, when he's done, he's going to be doing an Ironman. And I think within the space of about 2 or 3 weeks, you know, he had some other complication, and he passed away. And this was around Feb, and that was when we still did Joburg to see the full 9 days. And just before he actually got sick, and this was after I'd bought the bike and done a couple of rides. We were going to ride Joburg to sea together.
Oh man.
And so that was the plan. And then you know, he had already also signed up other people to run the Two Oceans Marathon, which we also used to sponsor at that time. And then we were talking about the DC for later that year. And so yeah, so and then, you know, after all of that happened, one of the other guys that worked with us was my Joburg to sea partner, and we said, you know, we're going to go and ride for Lee. So that was the band that I showed you, which was just, you know, it was in memory and recognition of the fact that, you know, he brought me and many others together with the sport. And then I think it was a couple of weeks after that I did my first half marathon, first and only, I think. Or I might have done 2 for the same reason, and there were also people running with banners, and he was quite supportive of Choc, you know, the guys that dress up in the cows.
Yeah.
So they ran with, you know, with the big flag with his picture on it.
What a legend.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he really was a legend. But that's how it got started, and I really enjoyed Joburg to sea.
Okay.
And then later that year, you know, we said we have to put together a team for the double century. I didn't even know the DC existed before that. And like anybody,
World champs.
yeah. And like you do when you do your first DC, you know, it's a very much a makeshift team. I think I knew maybe 3 other people. We, you know, the rest we kind of met that morning outside.
Did you ride under the banner of Old Mutual for that? Or was this
you know, when you work for a big corporate, you know, people expect you to sponsor the kit. So that's what we did. So we, you know, we got some kit. Yeah, we met. I think I borrowed a bike.
Okay. You're not doing that on a mountain
yeah.
unless you really are looking to suffer.
And that was, I think 2017 was that I did my first double century.
Okay.
So that's where it started.
So the cycle journey dates back to 2016-ish. Okay. And so up until then, there's no running, there's no cycling. Is there gym? Is there some sort of you've obviously stayed active, but nothing to do then.
So still no running. I just, you know, going out and pounding the pavement is I get bored very quickly.
It's gonna come for you.
We'll see. But I mean, I've always been active, but up until that point, you know, trying to stay healthy, so I used to go to the gym. But I also used to play, in fact, still do play a fair bit of soccer.
Okay.
In between that, also had kids, you know, which if you have small kids, you know, all of that, you know, takes a back seat for at least the first 5 or 6 years. Which it did, but so I've always been like, you know, reasonably fit or striking distance of being, you know, fit enough to do these things. And
you want to be. I've sat with a guy, Tudge. He's a founder of Salt, it's a clothing brand in Plettenberg Bay. He's a great cyclist, and he had this philosophy like, you've got to be fit enough. His measure of like your fitness is, if someone, for instance, says there's a half marathon wherever, you must be able
Go
to
and do it.
get up and go do it.
Yeah.
Or a 100K ride, which is great. So I think if you can do, which sounds like you're more than capable of doing. And I think anyone that's in the instance of, was it Lee?
Yeah.
That is, for someone to bring people to that. I mean, my personal experience getting into cycling, running to a degree, I still don't. I'm in the same boat as you. I really enjoyed when I do it, but it's not, the love is still coming, but it's transformative.
Yeah.
For me, at least, it was. In many, 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 many respects, it's good for everything.
Yeah.
Barring your bank balance, goes without saying. Would you say your journey was somewhat similar? Like, where do you find yourself today? Are you a regular rider? Is there a group that you regularly a part of? What does modern day cycling look like for you?
I would still say I'm entirely amateur.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm competitive by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a lot better than I was, 7 or 8 years ago. And my ability to get out and ride is largely just limited by time.
Sure.
So, I would love to be able to spend, a couple of hours out on the weekend, but even that becomes quite tricky. So I do try to ride indoors, at least, like ideally every day or close to that.
Oh, no, then you've immediately leveled up out of amateur. You don't get to say you're right on the trainer every day. That's you.
Not every day, like maybe
more than
4 times
more than once a week immediately enters you into an elite batch of dedicated cyclist.
Okay.
Because a trainer is do you enjoy it? Is it Zwift?
A lot of people don't like riding indoors, but for me, it's like so I need to do something. Like I need to exercise, I need to move, otherwise I feel very unsettled.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is when I get onto the trainer, I put on my AirPods, I listen to some really great music, and like for that hour I can just zone out and whatever. It's just it and at the end of it, I've got a clearer head. I feel better, and so it's not like riding indoors versus outdoors. It's
just riding.
It's just riding and getting out of your head for a little bit. Where I think riding outside is better, but for a very different reason.
Fair.
So I do a lot of that where I can, and then if I do get a chance to get out on a Saturday or Sunday morning and join a group ride, then that's just a bonus.
What does a local group ride look like for you? Who's the regulars?
So I've moved. I moved out to Paul a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And only recently, like earlier this year, just eventually got into the cycling WhatsApp group.
Danger zone.
Yeah. But and
some
there's
pedigree out there. Huh?
They are. So Carl and HP Ruger, they kind of lead the rides. Catherine, Colin.
It's not play out there.
No, so they're
Langa's always lurking somewhere around there.
He's also, so the
whole ASAP crew, the Wineland boys.
But they're fairly, like I think the weekly Saturday or Sunday ride is very relaxed. So that's always nice.
Yeah.
And there's some really nice roads to ride out there. So
stunning.
So that's what
predominantly road.
More recently, I would say I prefer road riding. I started off like being quite dismissive of the roadies for some reason. I just
if I got a new subscriber every time I heard someone start in mountain and now prefer road, we'd be pretty successful. No, it hasn't been 10,000 times, but it's I can't believe how common that is.
Yeah.
People start because there's this perception mountain bike is safer, which is crazy when I think about it.
Yeah.
For me, the majority of the people, if I think about who's injured, getting injured, it's mountain bike. Like the risks there are far greater. perceived risk is obviously a lot lower.
Yeah.
I'm on a trail and
Yeah.
all this plush suspension, and but that trail goes like 90 degrees down sometimes.
Yeah. I've never fallen off my mountain bike. Well, other than like minor little
Did you
ones.
ever
But it's
not
because
had the cleat out? So that's a qualifying criteria. But not cleated out and belled over. Never had
no,
that.
I think that's happened once.
Okay.
But it's because I've got no embarrassment or shame in taking the chicken run. So I've I whenever I feel this is not, I'm happy to get out and walk and I do that. So but so more recently I don't know, I've preferred riding on the road. I think it started when I got a indoor trainer and I first put my mountain bike on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, this is crazy. I don't have to have my mountain bike connected to this thing all the time. So I bought a really cheap road bike. And then it actually feels much nicer. It'd be nice to be out on the road on this. And then I went out and rode out. And then I said, I quite like this.
Addictive. It's so addictive.
It's smoother. It's faster. It's just, okay, well, maybe then I need to try and do a road race and, did one or two of those, and then I said, no, this bike's not going to do it. And then, you start looking at bikes and then you're into the rabbit hole.
So what is your chosen road bike at the moment?
So I have a Trek Madone SLR.
Okay. Very nice. What color? Did you go Project 1 or?
It is a Project 1. It's like a gold and off-white color. With a bit of black. It matches my wife's kitchen. I actually,
is that how you got it over the line?
It allows me to leave it in the kitchen more often because, I've got a photo of it in the kitchen against the splashback and whatever, and it looks like it's like a piece of art.
Bikes are a special thing, and those are, that's a very particular looking one. I'm a fan of. I much prefer aero. The do-it-all bikes, SL8s, the Canyons, all of them. Take the branding off, make it matte black. You won't tell what it is. It's all become a little bit boring. Where these aero bikes, that's what do they call the hole in the seats? The ISO flow and the.
It's a bit different.
Whether it does anything or not, I don't care. It's cool. I dig it. The cantilever, seat post at the back. And what was before that?
The previous Madone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I for some reason ended up riding Trek bikes, and I quite liked them. So I don't think I've had another bike other than Treks.
Crazy how it locks you in, and loyalty So we were Trek indoctrinated. My wife and I, when we started, and also there's the Top Fuel, there's the Madone SLR.
So the first serious bike that I bought was the Top Fuel.
It's a brilliant.
Was a great bike, and it was the bike that I bought to do Joburg to Sea, and I absolutely loved it, and I still have it. It's still, all these years later, it's still my mountain bike, and then because of that, I ended up getting a fairly basic Trek bike to put onto my trainer, which then I upgraded and I got the Imonda, but the entry-level Imonda, which turned out to have a defect in the frame. And when it needed to be, so Trek's got a great warranty.
Yeah.
And so I took it in and they said, okay, they will replace it, but they don't have, it was matte black. And they said, no, we don't do this color anymore. So is it fine if we give you an SLR frame with, and we do a Project 1 and we'll paint it? It's fine. And so I ended up with this.
Didn't have to pay in on that.
No.
Wow.
No, yeah, it was, as I say, that's what maybe that's one of the reasons why I've just, stuck with Trek. But
that is impressive. That's the kind of thing that keeps you coming back.
Absolutely. So then I had this very light, Project 1 SLR frame, which I had for many years, but it wasn't a disc. It disc brakes. So when I decided eventually I want to get go to discs, and and then I also quite like the look of the aero bikes. That's
so
when I
cool.
moved up to the Madone, but that was the previous one, which was a little bit thicker and a lot more of the wider tubes, which I also then kept for a few years, and then last year I got the new one.
You're not going to get much. You're not going to get much what you get for when you sell it. Almost not worth what you're left with. If I'm thinking it's that like sort of the iconic Madone, the first really aggressive, super deep aero tubed one that had the ISO thingy on the back.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, that's such a cool bike. It's got the really oversized Trek lettering.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest, most iconic bikes of all time.
Yeah.
You haven't sold that?
No, that's so I traded that in actually.
Oh.
And the best bikes where I get my where I get my bikes from in Durbanville. So they traded it in for me. They sold it. They found a buyer.
Best bikes your local out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't live there, but I still end up going to them because they look after me well. But yeah, I mean it's a nice bike. I guess at some point I would love to just try something different because I guess at that level, all of these bikes, it's like, do you prefer BMW or a Mercedes, or it's
the unfortunate thing you're gonna end up realizing is it's nice just to have multiple ones. So we've gone. I'd love to show you a picture when we were in Joburg. We moved here 2.5 years ago. In Joburg, you got space, big homes, and we had a garage and a spare room that did nothing. And as the cycling bug bit, we're also only a couple years into this rabbit hole, maybe 5, maybe 6. And that became a pain cave. 2 trainers, COVID, 2 trainers, fans. This thing was done, ground up immaculately. That like semcrete floor and the kits all hanging on the side. It was just like, you'd stand there and just look at the room sometimes and just like froth over the thing.
Yeah.
And there we had space for bikes. So it's like, another bike there would look really cool. And not necessarily all like top end. But we went through Trek, and then it was Bianchi, S-Works. There's got to be an S-Works in the ownership line at some point. And then there's this Alves brand that I got the distribution rights for by accident. Like I was looking for one just to have another aero bike. So I had the Monda. I was like, I want an aero bike to see, like when you really nerd out, the Watts, I wanted the Oster for the Stowe. Bearing in mind, I'm an absolute novice I'm never going to win a race. A B-cat, nothing. Like there's no chance. But you get into it, you know the story.
Of course, yeah.
But then I couldn't get them here. So like, well, can I just distribute them for you? I've got a marketing company, like how hard can it be? Like, I'll represent you properly. What are the MOQs? What do you need? 2 years later, I'm now stuck deep down this rabbit hole of trying to build and distribute this brand, which has been really cool on and on its own. And we still have our rim brake, Bianchis, the disc brake, the S-Works, unfortunately, I had on the roof rack and did the classic.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Idiot. And that was like this, I called it Barbie. It had this like floral paint job. It was like 1 of 4, so beautiful. Gone. And they don't, it's like, is it better? Like, is this as good as that? And it's like, it's the wrong question. They're all really good.
Yeah.
They're different. To have a preference to one or the other, like, you start riding the one more than the other. And it's like if you drove a C63 AMG, an RS4, and an M3, you'd have that stupid smile on your face anyone gets after driving a car.
Yeah.
And an individual person would prefer the one to the other. They're all brilliant.
Exactly.
That's kind of the thing.
Exactly.
And it's, if you have the means to, any one person would be like, it'd be nice to have both of those.
Yeah.
And as ridiculous as bikes are, if you go secondhand and if you shop around, and particularly with some of these other brands, you can own.
It's a lot cheaper than buying cars.
Yeah, that's
maybe not as much, but
substantially. Someone quantified it quite nicely the other day. They the interval RCU's David, who was here, David Tinker, his bike was up on the back end. He's got that the Decathlon Van Russell.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to like imagine sportsmen's at a World Tour bike kind of thing. So ironically, you can't get them. Like even in Europe, you can't.
Really?
It's like impossible to come by. They come out and they sold out.
Wow.
And that's still the Ultegra. So their big thing is you can fit Ultegra to the S-Works frame. If you buy SLR Trek, if you buy S-Works spares, you're only getting rid of Duros, and that forces the price point.
Yes.
Where they're saying you can have the race spec frame
With the
with a lower end group set, and that's still 130 grand. Like which is a lot of money, or it's a little, depends who you're talking to, you know. But you can't get them. I think his is one of two that are in the country.
Wow.
Only because one of his got stolen, so he replaced it. So there's like, you know, that's the sum total of these things rolling around. Anyway, I've completely forgotten what the point of that story was, but
it's how the bike makes you feel, right? You know, so
well, it's stiffness.
Yeah.
Like you said, the weight is negligible. The disc brakes are better in the rain. But the stiffness is like, and now this is a guy that has power data, builds his own app, developer. So when he says it's faster, it's faster. Like he's done, anyway, it was really interesting. If you ever do want to try something else, there's a handful there.
There's no shortage.
Some Asian persuasion. The Middle East guys in Asia are doing some crazy stuff.
Okay.
You're getting a Dura A spec bike at 145 grand. That weighs 7.3, 7.4 kgs.
Wow.
That have won on World Tour level, that have won locally.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sure. It's great.
See how this rabbit hole just takes you. The road racing, you mentioned that you did some road races. Which ones have you done? Do you still enjoy the road?
Yeah. So I mainly do the road races. Like if there's something up and the timing works, and you know I'm available. So I haven't done like tons of races.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the cycle tour a few times. I've done the Derby Dash.
How was that? That's pretty wild.
It's fast. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I wanted to do it this year, but I couldn't find enough people in my team to come and ride with me, and I didn't want to go and ride on my own. So, but that's nice. The 99er.
Yeah.
The 1-tonner.
Did you do the 1-tonner? I was going to just
not. I was away this year.
Okay.
So missed it. I did it last year.
Cool race.
And it was actually, I think, the first long distance race I did, longer distance race, before my first DC. It was, you know, it was like the test run.
Yeah.
And I remember struggling quite a bit.
From a certain point? Or just?
No, yeah. After, I mean, it was after maybe like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it was I'd never ridden that distance before at that time. So, and you know, when you ride with people that are like much faster than you, you know, their enthusiasm gets the better of them, and they kind of push you. No, stick in here, like just close the gap. And in the meantime, you know, you kind of burning all the matches, and before you know it, like you completely. Or eventually, I told them, you know, carry on, and I finished.
I'll pedal squares all the way home. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it was very much a case of that. So, so I've done a few of the main road races. There's a few that I haven't done. I want to do the double 90.
Mm-hmm. Maluti
double 90.
So cool.
So I've heard about that.
Very, very cool. They just need to, you must just check the roads are. So I've been talking about those roads getting fixed up for a while. They fixed those roads. That's in the top 3 of South African road races.
Oh, really?
It's that good.
Okay.
And the weather's good. The place is a hell of a vibe, like off the hinges. I think half that field does that race hungover. That's unbelievable.
Really?
It's such a good atmosphere.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So would
on the bucket list.
Would have that on the list. But again, you know, it's I think most of my riding is constrained by, you know, time and availability and so on. So, you know, there's a couple of things that I try and plan every year, and it kind of gets left to that, you know. So, you know, potentially the cycle tour, maybe Joburg to Sea, or now go to Berg, or now go to Sea, as it's going to be next year, which will be quite interesting. Sometimes Wines to Wales.
I was going to ask, are you doing any of the? Have you done Sonny to Sea?
No, I haven't done Sonny to Sea.
Bergenbush?
Haven't done Bergenbush. No.
Done Wine to Wales? Epic?
No. One day when I'm big
Is it
and
on the
grown up.
cards? Okay.
One day maybe, but I mean, that I think, yeah, that's
Not something you're close to. You'd like,
yeah.
given the time.
I would like to,
Okay.
but I would want to do it properly and not, sign up and then, oh shit, I've now got to go and train for this. And then I've also, in the last few years, I've started participating in an event called Change a Life, which we now also part sponsor.
Okay.
So Change a Life is it's a social initiative to, they invest and run projects that focus on uplifting kids, underprivileged kids, through education and sports, and leadership and life skills, down in the Eastern Cape and also in the Valley of 1,000 Hills, KZN. It's been going for many years, and I got involved in it by accident a couple of years ago, and I thought it was a great idea and initiative, and it's just a really nice group of people, and so I've done it for the last 3 or 4 years. It's the main sponsor, Citibank, and it's and also the JSE, and it's run by the team at the JSE who do like a really fantastic job in really organizing things. They put on like an amazing event.
Is the event a race that you go attend?
No, it's not a race. It's more like a tour.
Okay.
And each year it takes place in a different venue, like all over the world.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mostly, locally or kind of regionally, but but they do international events as well, and it's a nice way to ride in places you wouldn't ordinarily go, or would take a lot of organization, where this kind of takes care of that.
Just arrive and that the funds are going to a good cause.
Exactly, and it's a very good cause, and it really makes an impact, because you get to see firsthand the change that the projects deliver. I mean, the guy that's been spearheading a lot of the programs, the guy by the name of Martin Dreyer, he's like this complete nutter. Someone you should actually have onto your podcast, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
He's like, if I don't like endurance, he's like complete opposite end of that scale. He does these like these adventure races where they like run through the desert, and they have to navigate using paper maps, and those
crazy,
like full, like and you sleep for 2 hours, and it's multi-day, and like I think he's won the Doozy before, and he's produced multiple Doozy winners from this cohort of kids. He's a complete nutter, and his wife is, I think, the stronger of the two of them. So she also does this, and I mean, in fact, last year so one of the tours was in Croatia, which was like probably one of the best places I've ridden. Which was last year, and Martin was doing this race in South America, I think, about 2 weeks after that. So he needed to do his training, and I think his wife was also participating, and there was this unspoken competition between the two of them, where he didn't want it to know how much training he was doing, because he felt like he wanted to more than keep up.
Hiding his rides on Strava.
Yeah, well, more than that. So because we were riding, I don't know, at least 120 kilometers a day, for about 4 or 5 days, which it's not massively difficult, but it's nice, it's nice work. But not Martin. So Martin would wake up, and he would do like, I think, about 20 kilometers of running, with this bag of rocks weighing 20 kilos before we ride. He'd come to breakfast and then he'd jump onto the bike with that bag of rocks weighing 20 kilos. And he would ride the day, and the guys that are struggling, he would be pushing them up the hill with the bag of 20 kg rocks in his backpack. And then when we're done, he would do another 10K run after that. And he did this every day.
That is nuts.
So yeah, he's just badass, man. He's like, it's like proper.
And somehow blended and hooked that onto such a noble cause. And
yeah, so he spends his days, with these kids, training them, teaching them, not just the sports, but the life skills and discipline that comes with it.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, I really think he's so interesting to just listen to his life story and why he does these crazy things.
Please, I mean, is he in the Cape ever?
He does come down here, but he's based in the Valley of 1,000 Hills in KZN. So
one of my favorite places in the world is Valley of 1,000 Hills. That is special. Used to ride dirt bike, like enduro type stuff, and that's the Mecca. Wade Young, I don't know if you know him or not. In the World Enduro Series, so you get like motocross and you get enduro, and then you get extreme enduro. So Roof of Africa, Maniacs, Erzberg, and then there's another one. They're like the 4 mega ultra, like 1,000 people enter, 5 finish type of thing. It's ridiculous. Okay, Roof, there's a higher finish rate, but like Erzberg, I think sometimes it's very seldom you'll have double digits people finishing. Bear in mind, you travel there, you send your bike there. It's a whole palaver. It's extremely expensive to enter. And Wade Young is, I mean, I haven't checked the rankings recently, but in the top 3 globally. Sure. He's that good.
Wow.
KZN boy, Valley of 1,000 Hills. Alfie Cox, he's all these oaks. They're born and bred in that thing. So if you're into that thing, you go and you ride there. It is, people have got no clue. This country, it's the most beautiful place in the world.
100%.
But you got to go into the country. This country isn't the Ferris wheel in,
the waterfront.
It's not Table Mountain. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's like that surface level. Peel back the layers and you get into our valleys and
there's so much to explore. Yeah, fully agree with
too good. Might actually be in my interest to go and see him there.
Okay.
Pack up the gear and go on a business trip for our high revenue generating channel too. Please, if you could make it interesting.
I will definitely do that. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, I don't want to forget to ask you the question, but it resonates that whether you're riding outdoors or whether you're riding indoors, it's about riding. One of my mentors, and this is going to sound very pretentious, is the guy who lives in Monaco. That network that my wife belongs to, Moore.
Okay.
He's the partner of Moore in Monaco. Andrew Gallagher, insane guy, and stupidly wise, like just oxymoron. But he rides. He's older. I hope he doesn't listen to this. Andy, I hope you're not subscribed to this channel. But he is older, and he has this. Everyone's been through the froth phase, and you race. And he has this thing, cycling is a thing you do before life starts. Before you start your day, before you deal with anything, cycling is the things that you do. It's like it's that fundamental to functioning in life. Like life is the thing you do when you're done cycling in the morning. That's the saying. And it's like I think for so many people, we love the KOTUS and racing and the banter, and we're weirdly obsessed with lycra and area gains that we think matter that probably don't really.
Yeah.
But if I look around the people that are, I mean, there's much more to riding than that. It's like I wouldn't even say it's a coping mechanism. It's a major upgrade you've got. It's a major advantage you carry over anyone else that you're competing with in the workplace, if you want to call it that, or in life, that doesn't do that. Like I can't imagine my life waking up, showering, eating, and going to work. It gives me anxiety. I get uncomfortable. Really? How do you function?
Yeah.
no judgment, but worse still, the people that like you see the cigarette smoke coming out of the car on the way in the morning. It's just like, how are you doing life, man?
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier, it's like that's a major stabilizer in your mind for you at the start of the day.
Not at the start of the day. So it's interesting.
Not at the start.
Yes.
You cycling in the evening?
So yeah, it's interesting that I totally get your perspective, but all my life I've never really been a morning person. So I'd rather stay up late if need be. But if I can, I would not set an alarm and wake up when I wake up.
Fair enough.
And often that means, waking up, and especially if you've got kids, then your morning starts and like, if I've got a ride first, it'll be lunchtime by the time I get around to doing anything else. So I don't ride in the mornings, other than maybe on a weekend.
Okay.
But I also try not to ride in the evenings.
Okay.
So like late afternoon is like the sweet spot. So after this, when I get back, I'm going to try and do that.
Like a normal time for you to be on your bike, 4, 5, 6, somewhere there?
5:30. Because what happens is,
would turn around if I tried
like, I get to this point where if I'm at work and then I've got to drive back, or if I'm sitting at my home office, like I get to that point where I need to move and I need to stop and I need to clear my head. That's a great way to do it.
Okay.
And then I can finish up whatever I needed to with a lot more productivity.
So that was the question I was getting to. What is that performance upgrade to you? More for someone, there's 8,000 employees at the office you're at. There's many more thousand in this sector that may very well watch this. Like, I'd love for them, knowing the stresses they're under, whether they're bankers, investments, like all the different verticals they might find themselves in. Like, what's the reason you should consider cycling from someone who's from that industry? Like, what is the step change it's giving you that they'd be mad to ignore?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we do is quite cerebral, so it's you in your head a lot. It's it's generally people that are very analytical. You're always thinking about things. And what I find with cycling, and this is actually when I've mostly with mountain biking, but I think on the road is equally the same, is when you're going downhill or when you're trying to climb a steep hill or whatever, you're forced to be present in the moment. You can't be on your bike and like close your eyes and think about the stuff you would normally think about. You're here in the moment, because if you're not, you're gonna fall, you're gonna hit a tree, you're gonna tumble down, and so you're fully present. And I find that when you do that for, even if it's half an hour or an hour, it just clears your head. And when you're done and you get back to the world, your perspective is maybe a little bit different, because you've been present for an hour, as opposed to what tends to happen most of the days, where you're not very present. You're thinking about the future, you're thinking about the past, but you're not always in now. So that would be my suggestion. I mean, that's what works for me. But I mean, other people that do it will know. Like, you need to try it and experience it to see, to see what it means.
There's not a day I try and ride every day. But I have a 1-year-old, 17, 14, 11-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So like,
oh wow,
get the kid thing. I have an extremely successful and as a result busy wife who is just the best. She understands that need to go and ride. But you would die if you had to come on the Savage Loop, which I like live my life, one Savage Tuesday at a time. It's like I pine for that day like nothing else in the week, and that I have to leave home cycling out the like 19% 10-meter climb
of
up the driveway of Noordhoek, as I'm on the road on the bike 4. Meeting guys here at 4:30. If I drive, I can leave at 4:15. I can get extra 15 minutes in. and then we go total Lakeside down here, and we basically do the reverse of Argus every Tuesday. So you've done, by the time I start work at 8:30 on a Tuesday, you've ridden 80 to 100 Ks, 1,040 meters of climbing. You've had a sprint finish, you've had a summit finish, you've attacked, you've cried, you've screamed, and on that ride, coming over Okops alone in the morning, the amount of stuff I process and get through, like you said, it's like there's all these things just out there, and it's invoice and bill and quote and proposal and life, and it's like all these things there. It's like you get it all in order. It's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna ride my bike now. By the time that descent of Okops comes, and you're like present there, and you start that day. Like work doesn't start when you log into your MacBook, and the first 10 things you do are just like ba 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 ba. You've just had that stillness almost to sit and think about it. And then, like you say, go and be present, fire the endorphins off, come back, community, vibe, coffee, all those connections. And then it's just like, it is the most addictive thing in the world.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I need to get you out. You're too knowledgeable about the KOTUS to not come to one Savage Tuesday. I feel like it's a good segue to get into DC banter, which is... So if you've watched any of our content, or if someone has told you 19 broken telephone hearsay stories about me, the one thing that'll always come through is DC is my most cherished race in the entire universe. I love that race.
Glad to hear that.
It is such a big deal. And I was sitting talking with someone, I won't mention who, but they were somewhat perplexed, like, how is DC growing? You know, we've got these graphs. Brendan Stevens, who works just over there, is a CA and loves cycling. He's the founder of Pure Savage. Coincidentally, happens to be here by chance. And he's got all these graphs that show race entries, participant entries, and different races, and it's all graphed, and it's not a good graph. It's a very worrying graph. After which seeing gave me the impetus to like do what you can, control the variables that you can control, and like try and make more people want to cycle. That's ultimately our objective. Build the community.
Yeah.
One of the groups that functions from here, Southside Cycles, they a group of 3 girls that started. We said, make this your home, cycle from here. They wanted, a group of girls get together. They were meeting up the road here.
Okay.
In a secure state. Literally just regularly posting on Instagram and through word of mouth. They have a ride on a Friday called the Weekend Warm Up. Leaves you at 5:15. 30, 40 people.
Wow.
In that group in like 2-3 months.
Oh.
And there was a lady, she'll know if she's listening to this, who did her first ever ride on a bicycle. Yeah.
Wow.
As a result of that group. People want to ride.
That's amazing. Yeah.
People want it, but there's like, think practically, what is anyone doing to make people start cycling? Fortunately, you had a hell-bent triathlete sharing a wall with you, as you say, that, I mean, he really went to great lengths. The fact that he bought you a helmet is so legendary. I love that. Like, that's a pretty heavy emotional anchor to starting. But like, what is anyone else doing? Like, if you ask anyone, like, name something that is happening, that is making people that aren't cycling, start cycling, knowing how good it is for you. What is anyone doing? A lot of people we've had, from Balaise to David Clark to, Mr. Windy, Brendan, the number of people we've had on here, the Cape Town boys, all describe this era they came from, where they remember every weekend going to a cycle race in the South.
Wow.
Every weekend there was a race on. And then, your parents went and did the big loop, the lighties went and did like a short loop, and you waited in a park.
Yeah.
Mom and dad will be back at some point. Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So naturally, kids that are like riding their bike to school, you're riding. Mom and dad go do the race on the weekend because it's a social thing, it's community. You go and you ride your bike, and they all just kind of did that. And then naturally, Cycle Tour came around, August back then. It's like, let me go and do it. Then it's a lot of the stories. The KOTUS guys, we've interviewed each one of them. The Perla, East City, Mother are impossible to get to do anything other than like talk about alternative milk options. Or almost all of them, barring Mother, it was a group of people that were, in Brendan's instance, KPMG, And there was this DC thing, and it was like, oh, let's get together and let's go and do it. Okay, well, let's train. Let's meet every Tuesday and go train. And that's how these groups formed.
Yeah.
It's entirely like, it's a thing that someone did that makes people want to go and cycle. Cycle Tour is one of them. DC is one of the biggest. It's like, it's the role that these things play. I don't think people realize how far reaching and how heavily the impact of those races are. It's more than put on a good event, make sure that there's prizes and good watering.
Yes.
That impact of that race being so well run reaches, that ripple effect is beyond what I think anyone even imagines. It's so special.
Okay.
Anyway, very long-winded point. You guys are, how long have you been, you're the title sponsor for, for that
since
event?
2021.
Okay. As long as I've known it as the Old Mutual double century.
Okay.
So I'm still a novice here. I don't.
So the Belez would correct me, because I think he's got all the history. But as far as I know, it kind of goes back some 30 years, and in kind of different formats and routes and so on. So I think there's quite a long history to it. Some of the stuff that I sent you, I think will give you snippets of what that history looks like. As I said, I first did it in 2017, and then 2018, and then 2019. And then COVID came, and there was question marks around like what's going to happen in the world. And I think that's when the organizers had challenges around the previous sponsor, and were looking for a new partner. And having done and I think this is probably one of the biggest driving factors, was I had participated in the event, and I had exactly the same experience as you. Now, granted, I mean, I haven't done tons of races, so my data points are much less, but I found the DC to be somewhat unique for a couple of reasons. So one, I think, it's a nice extended distance, so it's not like anybody can just go and do it. You can't not have ridden a bike. Maybe some people can, but it's not like the cycle tour where you can be very recreational and still go and do it. You need to put in some effort, which makes it a bit special. I think, secondly, it requires you to be away for a weekend, or almost a weekend, rather than just go for the day and ride and be done. And the fact that it's the last Saturday of November, which is just on the horizon of the December holidays, like, I think once I get the sense, once DC comes around, people are in that holiday mood, and like, that's kind of, once you get to DC, like, the holiday,
it's the year-end
sets
function.
in. It's the year-end function, and going away is like a nice way to break that. The team format, I think, is really special. One of the main reasons I love the race is that like, for me, the benefit of riding outside is riding with other people, and whether you're racing and the teamwork that's required, to win. I think people that don't cycle don't understand the team dynamics in cycling. You think it's a very individual sport. It's not. But even if you're not racing, like, just the social element of riding together for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours. It's a lot of fun. 10 hours if you Belez. It's so much of fun. And so for me, even before we became the sponsor, I had kind of came into this discussion with them with all of that in mind, saying, but it's a fantastic event. It's so unique. They need a partner, and it's a great way for us to support a great community. And it's people that we would think are in our market, and what better way to engage with people than to put on a great event and to partner with a great event. I mean, it's nothing more than that. People always ask me, so what do you actually get out of the event? And it's one of those things. I mean, you in brand and marketing, it's like, how do you quantify how many leads, it's and for me, we try to look at that stuff, but that's not the main driver of our decision. The decision is we've got people in our market that are giving us an opportunity to engage with them, and
in a very different way.
it's a different way. And if we put on a great event and it's a great experience and they have a lot of fun, maybe they'll remember that we played a role in creating that experience. And for me, that's good enough. I don't need anything beyond that. Great, but there's nothing that we would we don't chase leads or.
I've never seen a salesman going around there asking me, would you like to deposit cash?
No, so that's.
Have you had any? I mean, is there any example of someone that did go there and there was a good commercial gain from it? And the reason I ask this, a lot of the stuff that we've tried to understand, because I think that there's a major lack of understanding in our market. From cyclists have this thing where it's like there's no racing in the southern suburbs, or there's no coverage. People. It's so easy to criticize. It's so easy to complain. I would love to see more races. I'd love to see better coverage. Like, we've actually got a really high level of competition in this country across loads of disciplines. Like, I didn't even know we had cross-country racing. Some of the best. We've got a mountain bike calendar that is like stacked constantly. We had Sarah Hill on the other day, and she takes you through her race schedule. She's a full-time pro mountain biker. She's one of a couple. Their full-time job is riding mountain bikes, racing, girls, guys. There's our road scene. I mean, RDX, ASAP, you'll know every one of those teams. They're racing every other weekend. There's all this stuff going on, and it's like, you don't really see it. And then there's not enough racing. It's like, well, what's the problem? My theory is there's not enough money in the sport. Not there's not enough money. There's not enough money in the sport. It needs more money. Teams need to make more money so that people can earn, so they can do more. Event organizers need more money. They need more people at these things, more spectators, more races, because there is money.
Yeah.
Corporate South Africa has got endless amounts of money.
I wouldn't say endless, but
there's so much. If you think about, outside of the obvious brands, the bankers, the retailers, think about like B2B businesses, manufacturing, and there is mass amounts of businesses that don't really know how to do good, clever, emotionally connected marketing. And events are like the perfect way to do it.
I agree.
But the problem is you have a media problem. So you're going to go and spend, I have no idea what a sponsorship costs, but hypothetically, if it's R1 million, and some people will have this expectation of, well, I need something back. I at least need to see something. I need something to run where my brand is seen, or it's got to be something. That's not figured out. So the question is more, do you feel there's hope as someone that does look at, sponsoring one of these big events and many others and many other causes and initiatives? Like, what are some of the constructive criticisms you'd have in terms of, well, there could be more if we saw more of A, B, and C, or we're involved with this because they do A, B, and C, and other people can say, oh, well, okay, if we replicated that, we'd have a better success rate with people we're going to for sponsorship. Just like some usable extracts that someone might be able to look at who's battling this conundrum.
Yeah, look, I don't have the answer. It's something I think we're also trying to figure out. My view is it depends on your perspective, right? Because if you try to build a business case around what return you get out of it, it becomes very subjective. Where my perspective is, we are a very large business. We want to be present in communities, and you can only have a successful business if you've got successful communities. And this is a way to get out there, get people engaged, and excited by what you're doing, create a great experience. And it's a touch point which might lead to other things. It might not, but you asked, has anybody kind of come and, done anything? Yes. I mean, we do get people that talk to you about it. They ask you questions about why you're involved. They talk to other people in my business, and, it's enough to get people interested. It's a nice conversation starter. The fact that I'm sitting here talking about it, I think those things do matter, but it's not easy to quantify. And I think the danger is when you just look for hard, tangible, quantifiable numbers, it's difficult. You've almost got to believe
It's
that
like the wrong KPI for that,
yeah,
for that activity.
like I think about
I'll put that over there for you.
when I was in school. Okay, as I mentioned, I grew up in a small town, in a public school. Old Mutual sponsored the scoreboard. Okay, we had terrible grounds and facilities. Right, we used the same field for cricket and soccer. I think on the same day. But we had this Old Mutual scoreboard, which I thought, like, I mean, in a small town, like that nobody maybe really cares about. Like, we've got Old Mutual took the time to put a scoreboard, and like that, I don't know whether it's like subliminal, but like I always, it made me see the organization in a different way growing up.
Sure, that's
because we had the Old Mutual Maths Olympiad, which we still sponsor. Which I remember participating in as a kid. There was the Science Olympiad, and I actually, maybe I can send you the photo. I used to do school athletics. You had to pin those numbers on your shirt. I had an Old Mutual sponsored one back in my teens. I still have it.
Awesome to hear. Like, you don't.
And so like that, like, does that generate quantify? I don't know, but like it links you. It creates an emotional experience. So there's that. When I went on cricket tours, anybody that's done that knows you need kit, and your school gives you this form to go out and talk to all the businesses in town, and you must get some sponsors. I go to the Old Mutual branch, and I got, I don't know, it was $200 or something, which in those days,
it's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. And so, like,
I love how you went straight to the bank.
Yeah. So I think my perspective is, it's the type of thing you need to do. You need to be mindful that you want to generate commercial value out of it, but you can't business case it. You've just got to understand that it's the experience you create for people that makes them want to interact with you in a different way, makes them see you as a active participant in their community. And you're not always there for commercial value, but it's a way of just being engaged.
I think, and I'd love to know your opinion on it, but that we're in a particularly useful era for that kind of thing, where people are voting with their wallet is something that people are becoming more mindful of. I know I never used to, but I proactively think before, if I buy a car, I don't have hundreds of millions, but if I were to invest hundreds of millions, like the bigger decisions, I immediately stop and I think, who's active in the world that I live in? I'm not going to just go and place. And it can even be for smaller things. Like there was certain things from certain retailers that I saw, I'm like, where I buy my milk from probably doesn't make a difference to them. But I'm not going to go and buy it from them because A, B, and C. And I'd rather buy it from so-and-so. Even if I want to pay more for it, they doing things in my ecosystem, why would you not support them? If we had a guy from Infinity Cycles, he has a car dealership. And I said to him then, I can't think of anyone else I know that owns a car dealership. When the time comes that I need to buy a car, that's who I'm going to go and buy it from. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, it makes complete sense. One day when we sell and I exit, or I get major dividends, and you need to invest the money, like it stands to reason. If there's all these corporations out there, is there
so it's an alignment of like philosophy and values.
That is more and more and more prevalent, and I only think that's going to grow. And the brands that are not, and this isn't specific, just to cycling, but I think the guys that aren't aligning themselves with good intentions and sincerely aren't sitting and bean counting everything, which obviously you have to, but where you are just putting in a lot of goodwill because it's the right thing to do. I honestly feel like that's
I agree.
The upsides of those things are going to be immense.
Do you remember, you're probably a lot younger than I am, but like, we used to have this thing called the Old Mutual World of Endurance. It was a TV show every Sunday that covered all endurance sports across the country. Like, if you've probably gone to YouTube, you might even find it
today.
It was called the World of Endurance, and everything was around endurance sports, cycling, running, and again, it's something I also grew up watching, and that became like an association, was people like me, businesses like Old Mutual, yeah. So that also it talks to your kind of alignment of how you see life in the world. Even with Joburg to See, the main reason why we participate as a sponsor is if you I don't know if you've done Joburg to See, but the route runs through some really amazing parts of the country, as you pointed out. But in each of those places, each of those stops, the local communities get involved, whether it's the schools that provide,
of course,
the grounds for all the tents and the camps, to the food, to the water points. And along the way is just it's a way in which we can, like a lot of those schools, that's like the one day in which they generate the most amount of revenue for the school, is through all the stuff that they do, which we and the event pays for, with all the people coming in. It's the community that comes in, and that makes a huge difference to the school and the town, because it's towns that don't see so many people ever in the rest of the year.
I bet if you went in there with a camera and a mic and you asked people what that event meant to them, what that one day means to them, what it really means, I reckon that would be some
for sure, yeah,
heart-moving, riveting stuff.
Even the marshals, like Belaise will tell you, the marshals in Swellendam for DC, it's people in the community that they employ. The one year when we had cancelled with the rock slides, we still had people there. They got paid, and it's just it's the biggest event for them of the year. For us in the city, it's you don't think too much about it, but in a small town, it makes a difference, and it's a way in which we can show up in these areas.
Love it. Massive kudos to guys for doing that. As long as I've been involved with it, it's like I still call Cycle Tour the Argus. I can't divorce myself from it, as much as it annoys people. And it's, for me, it's the old Mutual DC. Like, that's just that brand recall is already there. I hope it stays there for the rest of ever. Having said that, there are sub-threads, if I can call it that, to the DC, one of them being the KOTUS. How affair are you with this very important World Championship challenge people live and die for? Is it?
I am very affair with it, and more recently.
Glad to hear that.
So the one of the LPC guys, Kieran, is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
So I started to pick up something
that's
like...
how they get the seeding. It all makes sense. David,
what seeding?
You've been bought.
So
spilling it.
So no special favors, but so I've been enlightened as to how important this is, and
most recently,
okay. And I actually think it's like a really nice subtext, to the race, and I love that the DC can be the final battleground for that.
It is the battleground.
And to see all of the I love the banter. Like, that's just
how up to speed are you on the role players in this year? Have you heard of a House of 12?
Not until the last couple of weeks.
Okay,
I've now been introduced.
I was really hoping you were going to say no, because that would prove the point. They're the latest fad.
I saw the on the social media
Instagram pages.
Yeah.
They've done a good job there.
Yeah, the intros were nice.
Yeah, very very similarly written to the meme page. You've obviously seen the meme page. We all love the meme page. Yeah. Do you have any idea who it is, out of interest?
No
idea.
No.
The speculation is rife. I've been accused heavily this last week. My wife asked me to swear on her life. It's not me.
Oh, really?
I'm not joking. I had to go, on Instagram, there's that thing on the top left, because obviously there's Elves, there's Hobo, there's my personal one. And I had to actually show it.
Wow.
And it's like, wait a minute, Dave's got 2 other iPhones in his car. Like, who has 3 iPhones? It's like, well, when you upgrade your iPhone, like, I've still got Authy. I've got Authy on the old one. That won't transfer over. I was like, what?
Okay.
Didn't our
Just left
14-year-old, would you like a new phone? You worked really hard. You're an A-grade. Take it. Go and see if there's a KOTUS. That's how ridiculous it got.
Wow.
But we had a House of 12 here on Tuesday.
Okay.
And we edited it that evening and put it live yesterday just to make sure they were covered. I'm convinced it's that Calvin guy. I actually think it's Mark and Calvin from House of 12 that run that account. Having met them and seeing how they write their content, it's so Calvin rides Savage on a Tuesday. So all these teams ride on a Tuesday.
Yes. Yeah.
For years, like back to the OG days, by chance, they all just happened to do their rides on a Tuesday. Not through planning either. They happened to be 5 minutes apart.
I didn't know that.
So Savage leaves from Mooley Point Shoal, 5:45 sharp. Like clockwork, won't change. LPC is 5 minutes up from them, and I think ECC is further up or back, and God alone knows what Mother does. They just blend in with everyone else. And that's how it's been forever. So every single Tuesday, so they used to go out and back, Chappies and back, where now we go over Chappies, through Noordhoek, come back over Oakhops and have coffee here. So the Savage Loop has evolved, but they would, for however many years, they'd go up, you'd see LPC come down, you'd see the other guys come down. Like that's how it runs, which I think is just bonkers. And Calvin he's got all the panel mall, whatever, so he blends in with the hipsters and the mother crew, and he's like looks and feels like them. But then he's also got his ECC socks, and he's also in the clubhouse there. And he's always rolling with Savage. It's like knows just enough about everyone. So he's my new top suspicion.
Okay.
So they're the newest comers. Mother have allegedly flaked this year.
But it looks like it's been coming for some time.
Well, they're claiming quit while you're at the top because they won through their infamous wheel-sucking efforts last year. To run a DC team year after year is tough. To get 12 guys to commit, schedule, life, businesses, everyone's going through different phases. It is difficult. And Savage had a horrendous time last year. We almost didn't have a team. It was hectic. So I get it, but we won't show them any.
Of course not.
Nothing. Yeah. No remorse. It's like they've flaked and they've left room for the wannabe fads to come in, and they're like stealing their thunder. They've got this cool design and they're all hip and have weird insects as their like barter, whatever. But I have had this theory from the start that they are saying that they're not doing it, and they're going to rock up on race day, somehow get David Clark and them to not put them on the roster. They're going to rock up on race day and destroy everyone. And I really want to believe that they're still going to do it.
I must check the roster, actually.
Because that's the kind of thing they would do. Bicycling, very recent article had did you see the title of that article in Bicycling? So they talk about the DC.
Yes.
And then when they come to covering this KOTUS battle,
I did see that.
DC Deep Throat.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, that's a bit...
That is rough. Well played, and then anonymous.
Yeah.
And all the beans that are spilled. And he's still covering Mother. So he would have met with them. He would have interviewed someone there. Why would they be in it?
You might be right, actually.
I mean, if they pull that off, I'd hate to say it, but it'd be the coolest thing ever.
It would be.
LPC that's the original battle, as I understand it. So I've jumped into this thing and just fallen in love with it. But it's Savage, LPC was like the original battle, and then it became Mother.
Broader, yeah.
ECC's obviously recently come into it. Do you have any, if you were to wager a bet on what the order would be on the result sheet at the end of the day?
Ooh.
Because there's very strong evidence to suggest there might be a makeshift podium for people to stand on. Whether there is or isn't, apparently they're going to bring one anyway to have their own podium, like a crate and a dumpster.
That I do know a little bit about.
Which, if you are allowed to spill the beans, I'd love to hear more. But were there to be a podium, ranked from 4th to 1st, where do you think that's stuck?
No. I think I would get into too much. I would offend too many people.
No guesses?
No.
Surely you've got to put LPC on the top of your podium.
That might be part of the problem.
Jasper, I've sat with all of them. I've had the same. So when I So I went and rode with all of them and then did the podcast.
Yeah.
ECC, I was dropped before the top of Sakers already. Like the most ridiculous ride ever. Like they just absolutely murdered. So that was reference point 1. LPC was Saturday ride. Like most people ride, zone 2, there'll be some efforts.
Yeah.
It was zone 4 with some zone 7 efforts. It was one of the hardest non-stop rides. They just, Coral, do you know Coral?
Yes, yeah.
He only knows 400 watts.
Yes.
It's just like, he has no interest in zone 2 bantering on the bike. It's just like, and can still talk to you. Like you're looking at your Garmin 400 watts and he's just like, yeah, man, that's beast. And having ridden with them for that long, that hard, and the whole team was kind of there, you could see some splinters. Then you layer in 2.
Yeah, they've got a couple of new riders, yeah.
Nico, Roche, and Jasper. I was like, my prediction initially was LPC, ECC, Savage. That was my original prediction. It's since changed. I think LPC is going to come last. I think.
No comment.
I think ECC, I think House of Flower is wannabes. Shouldn't even be on the roster. I think they'll come in 3rd. They rate themselves though. You must go watch that episode. They reckon their top 6 could tee to the whole thing first on their own.
Wow.
One SA champ joins them and I think they've won the race. And then I think ECC 2nd. I think Savage will win. But I know things others don't. I have inside scoop. You might not even be privy to.
No. I think you definitely know a lot more about the tactics. Yeah, the one thing I would say is you need more than just a couple of... Like it's a full team effort. No space for passengers. And I don't know which team is...
Who has the least passengers is the question.
Who has the least passengers? But I do think the rivalry deserves more attention at TC, and so there may or may not be some recognition, for who wins.
I hope it's.
Well, what would you think would make a great prize? Like, what would really shout bragging rights?
So you know what the thing is, and I can speak very bluntly about all these people, is they do all take it incredibly seriously. So as much as there's banter, Oaks take it very seriously. So post last year, there was like a legitimate sulk. It took Oaks a while. Like it was like Oaks were bleak, like really upset. It's done in this spirit, and I mean they all met. They were here the other day. We did a KOTUS street race.
Okay.
That we hosted, and we kind of produced it, and we invited them, ECC, LPC, to see. So they don't ever engage outside of that race, which is one of the reasons I hold it in such a high regard. It's the only race in the year, gravel, mountain bike, road, pick any race in the year. It's the only one. Everyone is under the same tent drinking a beer together. The only time.
Wow.
There's not a coffee ride in the year. There's no other time. That crew.
That's
all
special,
together.
Man.
No, I'll get goosies. It's the only one. All under the same tent. They're all there. Except the other guys, they like looking for alternative milk down the road and wherever. But even they had beers last year. After their group pick, all standing looking in a circle. Very cute. And that day, it was, I'll never forget it. I've obviously now met Carl and I've met Brendan. And they're sitting next to each other on that bench down there. And Brendan turns and he shakes his hand. He's like, I'm Brendan. He's like, I'm Carl. I'm like, how do you not know each other? 15, however many years of racing each other and you're introducing. It's like, it was a moment for me.
Wow, that is special.
So that aside, it is extremely serious. So but it's also like, what a joke. Like all these middle-aged to more than middle-aged men taking this thing so seriously. So that it's almost like the recognition has to have a lot of satire in it. I would, if I was in a position to make a decision on some sort of recognition, I'd phone Jared Kizza and I'd ask him for a suggestion because he would have one on the spot and it would be perfect. His wit and his humor and his all of that combined, and he's a creative genius.
Okay.
But it would need to be not complete mockery that no one wants to do it because there are still they are still normally all in the top 10. Like
Yeah.
the times are decent.
Yeah.
But not so serious that RH is like, well, wait a minute. Because I can guarantee they'll get more fanfare than whoever wins the race. I can guarantee it. That subtext story captures the attention of a lot of people. And it makes a lot of people want to do it as well.
Yeah.
House of 12 wouldn't exist for any other race. But they're like, oh, let's go stick it to those guys. And I think next year, you'll have 2 or 3 more KOTUS teams there.
Okay.
I can see it. I've heard it already. Next year we're coming for you. Next year that.
Yeah.
Like teams that'll spring up. It's coming like, yeah. And because the meme account is there, it's like it's official. They'll get your name at and a year there. But I think some sort of and I don't know why this is the case, but we've never observed the race, the proceedings for the podium afterwards. Like I don't have a vivid memory of like seeing it. It's kind of like maybe because we don't have a horse in the race and you're not there, so you just don't see it. But I feel like the whole podium ceremony needs to almost be more like, what comes to mind is Oktoberfest, something on tables in the middle, very like ceremonial and like less formal and more celebratory. I don't know, something mixed in between there, and that might just be one of them with, I don't know, some sort of set. I don't know, but it needs to be like central, where everyone like needs to stop and just in like a laughing, like engaged way celebrate them. It's I don't know.
Okay, well,
I can't like.
We'll see on Saturday.
We'll
see on Saturday.
So you're asking this with something already planned? You have some ideas?
There's 1 or 2 ideas, but we'll keep it a secret until Saturday.
Oh, I love it.
So might be the start of something bigger, though. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you're leaving me with all this. Like I'm not stressed enough already to get there.
So there's a lot of pressure. I think you would definitely want to be on that podium.
There's just to be there is the podium. To be at the end of that race, under that tent with those people, is
special. Yeah.
It's the highlights of the year.
Yeah.
Who are you riding with?
So we have 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
We have a amateur, like slow first-time riders, because we have, it's a nice way to bring people in. So we've got a team where, they're like, I think they ride about 7 or 8 hours.
Okay.
Then we've got the team that I ride in, which is a less slow team.
Okay.
And it's a mix of people in our business, some friends, some clients and partners.
Okay.
Our captain, Brayton Pulsar.
Really? Brayty?
Yeah.
Been nagging him to come on.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Behind me. Yeah. Brayty's one of the guys we did a ride called the Sparta 300 in Joburg, and he was there. So my earliest vivid memories of loving rugby is Brayton Pulsar.
Okay, wow.
Specifically Brayton Pulsar. Loved that guy. And we saw him on that ride. I was like, oh, he's probably going to be such a douchebag. Like, never meet your heroes type of thing. The exact opposite.
He's opposite of that.
We saw him in a while after that. And, hey, Davey, how's Candy? It's like, no ways this guy remembers. Like, Brayton Pulsar remembers. Like, my wife. And so DM started, and he's done some rides with Honeycomb, and we linked up with him there. And gave some advice for my son who's at Paul Boys. He's a boarder there, like, rugby, whatever. What a guy.
He's a very special...
The ultimate South African ambassador. Like
100%, yeah.
You've probably seen the same about him.
Yeah. He's such a special human being. He's so engaging. He's always chatty, helpful. He'll stop and, give a lot of time to anybody and everybody. So
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. He so unfortunately he won't be riding on Saturday because he had a really bad fall at once to Wales that he needed some surgery on his elbow.
That bad, eh?
Yeah. So he's still, but as he does, he's still going to come on Saturday and he'll be there because he's our captain and he takes his responsibilities very seriously.
Is he going to road captain from a car?
No. So he's he's known for his motivational speeches. So he'll be there with us the whole weekend and at all the stops, just making sure. Yeah. So really gutted that
man.
that he won't be right. He's very disappointed as well.
Oh, he probably could ride it if he wanted to. That looks a
He
machine.
probably could, but I think
One hand.
he's feeling like he needs to. He's at that age where injuries take a little bit longer to heal.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, see, that would have been cool.
that would have been cool. Yeah, but
Target time? Have one?
under 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, that's not chilling.
No,
That's
so
working.
so last year we did about just under 6.5.
Okay.
I haven't ridden much this year, so like I'll be happy if I can survive that again.
Okay.
But because we've made a few changes to our team, there was a few others that couldn't ride. We've actually replaced them with like really strong riders. So I'm feeling
You've poached a couple savages. Do you know that?
really.
Graham? He
Graham.
rides Graham. I'm pretty sure he works for you guys. He's got a blue Elves with white lettering. Charles. There's 3 of them.
Into which team?
I'm not sure which one. But he's Graham, and they're above average.
Okay, they're not my team though.
I guess not.
They're probably in one of our teams because and then the third team we've got a
Graham Smith,
mixed team.
which would stand out. Not
Okay, yeah.
cricketer Graham Smith, obviously.
No, there's
It's like famous intro. Graham Smith, not that one.
Oh, okay, maybe he's in the mixed team, but the mixed team, captained by a guy named Andrew McPherson.
Okay.
He's
Why does that sound so familiar?
He's also a bit of a nutter, like super competitive.
Okay.
And I think the last time they rode, because they didn't ride last year, the year before they were third.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, like they're like proper. It's a mixed racing team.
Yeah.
So he might be in there. And then one of our other regulars, Gavin Canoni, rides with ASAP. They've pulled him out to come and race this year, so he's going to be racing
With ASAP. Okay, I was going to say they're going for it.
Yeah, so that's what he said exactly. They wanted him to come.
behind us or in front of us. We seated 5th last.
Okay, I don't know.
I really want to beat ASAP.
Is it?
Really want to beat ASAP. They don't know this, but I'm like, I really want to beat them because they're like a real race team.
They are, yeah. No.
Okay.
Gavin's got a nice strong arm. So
yeah,
he's good.
My prediction was whoever's seated last will win the day if there's no drafting.
Why is that?
And as it just always works out that way. So you naturally, coming up on a team, you can draft and then, you get past them. And Sector 1, so it all comes down to Sector 1. Sector 2, it's impossible to not draft.
Yes.
Say what you want. You can't. So it's more a case of everyone has to pull through and work, and that makes that sector fair. You cannot not draft. In Sector 3, until it kicks up, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's up to Trudeau, the second that descent, that last 40 Ks, normally the team that's seated last, you will have caught someone by then.
Oh, I see.
And that draft that pulls them through there, and then
that makes enough of a difference.
When we weren't seated towards the back, the year that we won, we were seated towards the back. The year that we didn't, we were seated to the front of those teams. And there was nothing. There's not even like a bunch that you can draw from 100 meters away.
I see.
That just makes a huge difference. But people have gone so detailed. They're looking at like, if we cut our stops out, we can be out earlier because the wind picks up by 3 k's per hour more at this point in the day. No, it's ridiculous.
That's like proper.
Ridiculous.
I've seen like some of the comparisons on Strava, like, where you can actually see where people are drafting based on how they move.
Or you could just go and look at the video footage from the chopper, the ASAP cars.
Oh, yeah.
You just see this string of purple jerseys and this string of other jerseys. And it's just beautifully shot because it's through the jacarandas. Magic.
Yeah.
It's
wow, but I love that people spend that much of time thinking about how to win. It just makes it so much more exciting.
Serious. Like we had I'll share it with you. We have a PDF. We had one a few years ago.
I did see that. The race plan, yes.
Red team, empty the tank was so you literally color-coded as riders into colors. And you had specific jobs and specific climbs mapped down to like what's per kg.
I did see that. Love it.
Matt Beckett was the architect of that, and it got leaked. We still
Yes.
don't know who the mole was on our group.
Is it? Wow.
And then they didn't make one the last 2 years. I'm telling you, that thing helps. That PDF is like
you need a proper plan.
So Oaks will be that serious.
Wow. Sure. For the first time last year, the year before last, I've had a childhood friend of mine. We grew up together, but he's been in the UK for the last 20 years, and got into cycling there also, just separately to me. And then he was down here, and I invited him to come and ride with us. So now he comes out every year to come and do the race.
There's a couple, and that's the other thing about this race. Is there any, other than Epic, obviously, and like Gravelburn, which is a different story? Like, what other race, as far as I understand it from LPC's own words, and Jasper actually sent a voice note that we played over in that video. They said, hey, we're on this podcast, will you just send a voice note while you ride with us? So I'm like, guys, how do you get this right? Like, are you actually paying this guy to come and ride with you? Because that is ridiculous. Yeah. They're like, no, Breitling obviously brought him out, and there was a commercial relationship there. And they extended this, like, hey, like, if you want to come and like race this thing, come ride with us. And there are some LPC guys that are, pretty affluent, well-respected people, and like they do mingle in circles that you can be taken seriously.
Of course.
And sitting there and telling the story, and like he gets this WhatsApp, like, hey, it's Jasper, is that spot still available? And I was like, stop playing games. There's no way this is Jasper actually WhatsApping me about the spot. And I thought it was spam, like brushed it off. He was like, no, it's really me. Like, is the spot available? And then proceeded to like validate that it was in fact him. And they said up until the day he arrived on the Friday and they saw him, they weren't sure that they thought it was a hoax. Yeah. So he has a World Tour pro. He's fallen in love with this country. Comes here to do that race. Yeah. Tell me another race that people do that. Yeah. I think Nino would come to the Epic for the rest of time.
Of course.
So that's a different one. But like for a road race.
Yeah. No, I think I think it is so.
And there's
special
interest beyond that. Aaron Borrell that I was talking about earlier, he was saying like, oh man, I hope I can get you next year and come and do the DC. Okay. A guy that's flying at the top of the game in Europe. Man, I hope I can get back to do DC. I honestly think DC has the Old Mutual Wealth DC has. Yeah, I think it could be ludicrously big. Okay. In scale and size and like.
But there's a
claim.
There's actually, I mean, you were talking about numbers of people participating in cycling events, and I think this year we've got one of the biggest turnouts ever. It's like 3,400. It's like up by
5 teams, isn't it?
It's up by like 1,000 people. Yeah, it's.
What would you attribute that to, other than KOTUS, obviously, being the main driver?
Of course, I think the attention. I think people want to come and see for themselves who's going to be on that podium. I do think more people see it as like the event on the calendar that you look forward to, and the fact that it's, as I said previously, somewhat unique. And also there's many more like businesses that are participating where corporate teams where I think it's just a nice way to get people in your business engaged, because generally, like, if you have people that are active, someone in the business is going to say, hey, let's put a team together, and they end up making it a corporate team, which I think is
most company doesn't benefit from that.
Absolutely. So I do think that's part of it. 3,400 riders, which
that's spectacular. Well done.
And I would love to take it to the next level. So
is there a capacity? What could it go to?
I don't know.
If there were 10,000 entrants, could they?
I don't know actually.
Do you see that entrance list growing as a measure of success? Obviously, it's more exposure. There's more people seeing the brand. Is it an important indicator to you?
It's not the most important indicator. I think the fact that the demand is there is probably the most important, because I think the race entries get sold out like within the first 24, 48 hours. So as long as the demand is there, I think that's great. at some point, you want to cap the capacity, because then, you don't want to take away from the experience by, of sometimes when things get too big, the experience gets watered down. So, but I must chat to Dave, understand
Interesting to
exactly
know
what's the optimal number.
Yeah. What if it was 500? Maybe that's the wrong measure. I don't know. But it would be interesting to see how we try and collate stories from people that have never done it, corporates that have entered. It would be cool. It'd be a cool little series for us to try and get together. I'd love to hear it, because I believe this is the closest you're going to come to baptism in our era. It's going and doing this. It's that prolific.
Yeah.
If you guys think of anything in that regard, you must let us know, because we'd be keen to get stuck in.
Yeah. No, and similarly, we looking for input from the community. If there's, I think the best people to kind of shape how the event is in the future. It's the people that love it the most and are most engaged. So if there's ways in which you guys think we can make the event better, more successful, more fun, create a better experience, I think we're always open to that. I think part of what's helped from our side is the fact that many people in our business have done the event. I've done it. And so, we one of the first things we changed was the stage, because I remember, I think I sent you a photo of my first team. There was a little thing on the side of the road, which was where people were taking their photos, and we said, let's do some proper recognition. Yeah. So
the stage is a highlight. Everyone click up there. And,
So things like that. But we're always looking for ways to make it better. So we welcome input.
We'll try and collate some and get feedback from others. Something we thought would be cool is to try and extend it, the hype earlier. So we ran that KOTUS street race as as an example. Yeah. If you need to apply proper thought to it without it becoming an event thing. So we had Graham Ward here. He was explaining what constitutes an event. That means you need to have certain parameters in place. How do you create KOTUS as a sub-thread where there's banter? Did you watch Drive to Survive? Formula One?
No. Okay. No, I know the series, yeah.
So one of the really successful things that did is it took an otherwise very boring race, which is Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen win everything in any one season, other than the one where it was very competitive. And they told you the story about the battles within. So Daniel Ricciardo and third, fourth, and fifth, and the battle between 8th, 9th, and 10th. So now when you're tuning in to watching the weekend, he's winning, but check the dice happening there. Yeah. And you're watching, so there was this depth in the whole race that was otherwise never there. Why? Because someone told the story. Yeah. Now you're interested. And and then it became a personal story. So using a similar framework, story arc, script, whatever you want to call it, within the DC, there's sub-battles. There's women, there's mixed, there's KOTUS, there's northern suburbs. We're now seeing this on the KOTUS page. What about northern suburbs? We need to get our translation working first, but why not?
That's a great point.
And there's all the sub text to this event. So we have this stage called the DC where we come and compete, and that is amplified because of what happens throughout the year. How do you, in a very social, the same spirit of that race, which is everyone's there is this good mood.
Yeah.
It does feel like Christmas. It does feel like it's serious, but it's fun serious. I don't know. It's a weird balance that it strikes, and I know you know what I mean. That November, December. It's for me, my year ends at DC. My team know that. After DC, other than releasing salaries, I'm out.
That's it. Yeah.
If you can achieve a similar thing throughout the year with these different sub battles, not all in the same place, it just increases the volume and the hype of that end stage.
That,
So and then that gives you a year's worth of media traction, conversation.
It's a longer engagement. Yeah. I like that.
And this is in the context of a place where people are saying there's not enough events happening. People think they want races. You don't want more races. A-batch racing is shit. The risks are so high. You want to go, what we do every Tuesday is what everyone wants to do. You want to murder yourself against people that you know and go and dance afterwards.
Yeah.
You can do that without an official race. So I think somewhere in between there, we feel like we're on the cusp of figuring it out. Critically, not the format itself, because that's a thing, but the media. It's one thing to have it. It's another thing entirely to have it and have it produced.
Yes.
GoPros, tight, bar banging, banter, like cinematically cut and edited at the end, that releases every month in a story. This month is the story of the women's battle. This month, not a story, a short film. The KOTUS short film, the women's short film, the mixed short film. Like, imagine the cameraman under the desk at the guy's office there at Old Mutual Wealth, and he's like got Training Peaks open next to his calendar. You know what I'm saying? Like properly.
I actually think you're onto something. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I know that I am.
It sounds like a pitch.
No, it's no. It's like-minded
I like
banter.
it. I like that. Yeah.
So we've mulling over it. When we have it right, it 100% will come in the form of a suggestion box entry, pitch, call it what you want.
But there are so many stories that you could actually tell now that I think about it.
People want to hear them. Yeah. People want to hear them, and they want to be the story. The whole point of that thing is the stars in these stories are everyday people. It's me. It's Brendan. It's Reichardt. It's not Pritzens and the elite end of the sport. Not that there's anything wrong with them. They also have their story, and they have a particular outlook on that race as well. It's their urine function. It literally is their urine function. Anyway, I can talk about this further. The podcast will never end. But there's when you guys want to get into the ideating strat session for next year, please let us know, because we spend an unhealthy amount of time thinking about this thing. Anyway, I know we've probably run way over time. Thank you so much for making the drive out. I had no idea you were driving from home to here. I really appreciate that.
No, my pleasure. And thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the initiative, and for the love that you have for the sport, for the DC in particular. At the end of the day, it's a community that makes it all worthwhile. And without the community, then there's no event. So I appreciate that, and I hope you guys have a good time. I won't tell you that I wish that you win, but I have a keen interest in seeing what the rank order is. But I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here and have a chat.
Such a pleasure. I appreciate it, and I'll see you under that glorious tent.
Indeed.
Banter in hand.
Indeed.